Happy Sunday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Sunday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Sunday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, road in Madison closes due to a fatal crash. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Most people can name the food on their plate, but can they do it blindfolded?
Almost tastes like arugula.
Maybe not chicken. This pork chop?
Things are gonna heat up on Blind Kitchen. Stream it for free only on Very Local.
Breaking news now from Madison. Police are on the scene of a fatal crash on Route 16 at Ledge Pond Road. The road is closed right now. We have a crew on the way to the scene as we speak, and we're going to be bringing you more information as we learn.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire State Police warns about water safety this summer. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Forward is tools like Home Insight that help you navigate the home buying experience, so you can move on to what's next. Because life's certainly not standing still. PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you.
Yeah, Troy, Grace, there's still dozens of people out here at Crystal Lake enjoying this final stretch of the summer. And while it's beautiful and calm out right now, officials are warning anyone who may be going in the water that those conditions can change quickly. Now, this warning comes on the heels of two people who died in water-related incidents Saturday. They were 19-year-old Victor Rosario from Methuen, Massachusetts, who was swimming near Profile Falls in Bristol when he got sucked under the water and did not resurface on his own. Now, that other incident happened on Connor Pond in Ossipee when a 71-year-old kayaker, Ernest Richardson from Beverly, Massachusetts, was found unresponsive in the water. Now, Marine Patrol says it's important to take proper precautions and take note of conditions before entering the water, even if you're a strong swimmer.
Bringing somebody with you. Always have other people with you, whether you're going boating or whether you're going swimming. Rivers, be aware that the conditions can change. Something that might have been safe to swim in the day before or a couple of days prior may have a strong current if we have rain, for example.
New Hampshire State Police's Marine Patrol unit says on an average summer, roughly 15 to 20 Granite Staters die due to drowning or water-related injuries. And that's a number, of course, that officials think is too high, and they want that number to come down. We're live in Manchester tonight. Scott Cook, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Bedford School District looking to fill 75 positions. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Demand the best for your vision with the latest Essilor lens technologies at your local Essilor expert.
Back to school is right around the corner, and many districts are still dealing with staffing shortages. Bedford School Superintendent Michael Foreigner says they're looking to fill a number of different positions, but paraprofessionals are the priority. Paras lend a helping hand to the special educator and classroom teacher, often working one-on-one with students. Foreigner says they have a number of openings right now at the high school, and there's no initial training or education degree required, just a willingness and a heart to help.
We want to be as flexible as possible. And so if you're one of those people out there that are like, you know, I can only really commit to like 3 hours a day, I can't really be full time, just call us and we'll see what we can do, because what we really want to do is make sure we have people who can work with kids, have a heart to do it, and we want to be as flexible as we can to make sure our kids get the services they need.
The district is holding 2 informational sessions for people interested in applying later this week and early next week. You can find more details by heading over to our website or mobile app.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. New Hampshire officials emphasize call to action on National Fentanyl Tea Prevention and Awareness Day. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
What does it take to be the best? It takes guts, grit, determination. We don't settle for second place. We give 110%, 120% of the...
We've never seen a drug so deadly and so widespread.
107,622 Americans died from a drug overdose last year. 70% were caused by synthetic opioids like fentanyl.
107,622 reasons to go home tonight and have this conversation with your family members, your friends, and anybody else that you can.
A conversation about how little fentanyl it takes to take a life.
And you measure out 10 to 15 grains of salt, and you see how little that is. That's what we're talking about.
In Manchester and Nashua alone, 86 people overdosed in July of this year, and over 500 the past year. Chris Stawas, the regional director of the American Medical Response, says that these numbers are going back to what they saw pre-pandemic.
People have been inside for significant periods of time during the pandemic. A lot of people are self-medicating.
John Delina with the Drug Enforcement Administration says fentanyl is morphing its way into fake prescription pills.
Now we have drug trafficking organizations that are lacing other drugs like cocaine and methamphetamine and putting fentanyl inside that drug, tricking that user.
The reason this problem is so widespread across the United States is due to 2 major Mexican drug cartels that teamed up with chemical supply companies in China to synthesize these drugs.
Some people in the past have called this a war on drugs. This is a race to save lives.
Now, there is legitimate pharmaceutical-grade fentanyl for cancer patients, and if you are planning on having that conversation, you better include you cannot buy prescription drugs off of social media. You have to get a prescription from a legitimate pharmacy.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Hiker dies after fall on Cannon Mountain. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Tonight, one man is dead after falling while hiking Cannon Mountain in Franconia. A group of 3 hikers was making their way down the mountain and mistakenly thought they were on a ski trail. They tried to maneuver down a wet, rocky area with a steep waterfall. That's when the unidentified man slipped and fell out of sight of the other 2. His body was later recovered at the bottom of the waterfall.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Katie Thompson gives traffic tips ahead of Monday morning commute. Let's take a listen to that video from WCVB Boston.
This is supersonic Wi-Fi from Xfinity. It's fast. Like riding a cheetah fast. Isn't that right, girl? Oh! It can connect hundreds of devices at once. That's powerful. Couldn't have said it better myself. Unbeatable internet, only from Xfinity.
Joining us now to discuss your commute tomorrow is transportation specialist Katie Thompson. Katie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Good to be with you.
Good morning. So first and foremost, this is going to have a major impact on people, whether they take the T or they don't take the T. But what are the areas that you see as being the absolute busiest?
Yeah, well, I think tomorrow it's really important to remember that this is the first real big test during the weekday morning commute, and you have 100,000 people utilizing the Orange Line every day. A lot of those are going to be moving to buses, those shuttle buses, 200 of them crowding those streets, especially the northern portion of the Orange Line, the Fellsway. A lot of the stops run along that. So I think probably you're going to see routes 1, 1A, Route 16, 28, the Fellsway, definitely back up early on in the morning commute. Then remember, a lot of that traffic is going to push on to Interstate 93, so coming down through Sullivan Square, approaching the Zachem Bridge. That's where we're going to watch for those congestion points, especially between the hours of, I would say, 6 and 7 o'clock tomorrow morning.
You mentioned the buses around the city to accommodate for the train shutdown. Are there impacts on road restrictions right now?
Yeah, well, Mayor Michelle Wu announced last week that Boston is really going to be taking these dedicated bus lanes seriously, especially to allow those shuttle buses to move through the city of Boston as efficiently as they can. So they are going to be ticketing for parking in the bus lanes and driving in the bus lanes in cars. And there are a couple of roads that are closed to allow for that shuttle bus traffic. State Street between Congress and Washington Streets. You're going to see that closed to general traffic, as well as Dartmouth Street between St. James and Boylston Streets, and the northbound portion of Washington Street between Arbor Way and Williams Street. They're also warning in areas like Jamaica Plain, where the buses don't normally, there's not a lot of heavy bus traffic. You're going to see those shuttle buses moving through those areas, so just be aware of those 200 shuttle buses moving through the Boston area.
Yeah, good details there for drivers, commuters, and even bikers. What's the one thing you'd say everybody needs to know as the commute ramps up in the morning?
Well, I think just plan ahead. We've got a full guide on WCVB.com and inside of our mobile app that allows you to plan for your trip. We've got a station-by-station search engine, so you can type in the station you normally travel from and see your alternate options for the next 30 days. Give yourself plenty of extra time if you're headed out on the roads, and just be patient. We're going to figure this out, see how it goes the first couple of days, and then I'm sure the kinks will be worked out.
Before we let you go, is there anything else you wanted to mention?
No, I mean, starting tomorrow morning at 4 a.m., the Eye Opener team, we're going to be tracking all angles of this. I'll be up in Sky 5 watching for those congestion points. We're going to have people on the ground at the stations, on the shuttle buses. So every angle, we've got you covered starting at 4 a.m.
Okay. Katie, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Have a great day.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Three state primaries upcoming Tuesday. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
We have to tell everyone that we just switched to Verizon's new Welcome Unlimited plan for just $30.
I've already told everyone.
$30? That's awesome.
It's their best unlimited price ever.
$30 a line? I'm switching now.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.
Early voting happening ahead of some key primaries this week. ABC's White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks is in Washington with more on the big races. Mary Alice, good morning.
Whit, good morning to you. Yeah, voters voting in 3 states on Tuesday in New York, Florida, and there's a runoff election in Oklahoma. This is one of the last primary days, Election Day, just 79 days from today. Now, New York got a new map, which means that some sitting members of Congress are actually squaring off against each other. Congresswoman Jerry Nadler and Carolyn Maloney, those are 2 long-standing members of Congress who are both committee chairs. They're actually facing off against each other. So the results of that primary Tuesday will have a big impact in the House. In Florida, 4 Democrats are jockeying for the chance to take on Republican Governor Ron DeSantis. One of the leading contenders in that Democratic primary is Congressman Charlie Crist. He served as governor of Florida a decade ago, but as a Republican. Now, Senator Marco Rubio is also up for re-election this year. Several Democrats in that primary hoping to run against him in November. Representative Val Demings has gotten a lot of attention. She's a former Orlando police chief. And I got to tell you, a few months ago, everyone here in Washington was gearing up for huge Republican wins in November. But the last few days, even, Democrats seem to feel a lot better about their chances across the country. The White House chief of staff saying this week that he thought some of these big bills that they have passed this summer on drug costs and climate change and gun reform have created a, quote, season of substance that could help Democrats.
All right, Mary Alice, thank you.
Well, hey there, GMA fans.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. That did it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening. Good night and goodbye.